Alright guys, so how's it going today? So welcome to a Category 1 hurricane that we are currently having. Extremely windy. Yesterday they were saying wind gusts up to 50, but they changed it now to gusts up to 40. I don't know, I think it's gotten close to 50 at times. So yeah. So I've been kind of lazy at finishing this video. I started making this video a few days ago. And yeah. So I just got done making another little video I'll add on to this video. Got to do with the grain truck. I know Roosty 6 was saying something. Can't really remember now because this was a couple days ago, but he was saying something about that you could bypass the key for the grain truck and you could just go straight to the battery to try to get it to see if the starter's still any good. Well, I haven't really done that yet. Probably never will. But I don't know. I forget what he was saying. I think he called it a solenoid. I don't really remember what the hell it was called, but he says that you can look for that little guy, and that's where you can pretty much bypass the key switch, to start the truck. And he showed me a video and whatever else, and I've seen people do that in the past. I just didn't think it was. It's obviously not very healthy for everything, but emergency situations, it's fine. But on my truck, it doesn't have that. I think it's on the starter. I think, because I know that I watched another video of a guy that was doing the same thing, and he said that on the newer cars they put that it's built onto the starter now, which is what explained that big lump. and or on the older vehicles, I guess it's separate. Well, you think it'd be separate on the grain truck because it's an older system, and it's a 6-volt system on top of that. But I don't really see anything anywhere where it lets me, jump start it besides right there on the starter itself. And I made a little video of it, and I'll show all that and stuff. But there's that. I'm not really sure what it's called, but like I said, there's a little video clip there I'll show you. I took it off because I wanted to test it, and technically it should, I tested it with the multimeter and it should work. Even with the key off, it should be able to complete a circuit, but I wasn't getting anything out of that. But I don't know what that thing's called exactly, but it's a round tube, and I think that might be called the coil. I'm not 100% sure. I'm not an engineer. I'm not an engine builder. I don't do any of that kind of stuff. So I'm kind of just figuring it all out slowly, and been trying to find wire diagrams and stuff on these trucks, and just can't really find nothing worth. That actually helps me out, I should say. So I'm not really sure if that's the coil, that little round tubey guy. But I'm kind of wondering if maybe that's not bad, even though that's not related to the starter. I think that's more or less related to, spark, to get the spark plugs to fire at the right time. But considering that's original, I kind of wonder if that's not going out as well. I did find a part number on there. I'm not really sure what that second number is supposed to be, if that's supposed to be a 4 or an H. I'm not sure if it's supposed to be like an IH, then the numbers, or if it's a 1-4, which I don't really know. I tried to scrape all the crap off it and whatever else to read the numbers a little better, and I got most of the numbers, but I don't know. I don't really know what else to do, because I don't really want to pull the starter out unless I really have to, because I know the starter's not going to be the cheapest repair in the world. I'm kind of wondering if I shouldn't maybe just start with the cheap stuff, which would be the key switch, push button, and whatever else, and work my way up to the starter, because I don't know, because if it is the starter, good luck finding a new one. Probably could find a used one at a junkyard, but yeah, it's kind of it's bad enough that I have to take it out, and that's probably not going to come out very well either, but that's going to be the worst part of it. So considering that if it is a starter, truck's not going to be running until next year. But it probably wouldn't hurt to replace all the key switch and the push button, just to say that you've done it. And it's the cheapest stuff in the market right now that I could afford real easily. It'd just be cheap. So be cheap and easy. So I don't know. And with the 1586 being down right now, that's something I'm going to talk about that as well. I don't know. So the good news is this is good news in a way, but it's not what it saves me money, but it's not the route I wanted to go. But I'm not paying $200 for a new hose. So you guys know about the 1586. I blew holes on the seat. And on payday, I ran to the shop there where they worked on the 1586 all these years ago. And they said they also don't make anything really like that. They said that the flared fitting, they make them. But they said the other end with that big long threaded section on there, they said they don't do that. And I don't think that's really a common thing. But he said, he looked it up and he gave me the part number for Case IH's. I have that number. I forgot to bring the piece of paper with me, but I have the part number. So if I did need to order a brand new one, I could do that. You know, it'll cost me $200. That's what he said it would be for a brand new one from Case IH, which is stupid. So he recommended a couple of tractor salvage yards to go to. So I called up one of them. Actually, I called them Saturday, and which would have been yesterday, I guess. I called, and I guess he went out and looked, and he found me one. So, and surprisingly, it's only $50 for a good used one. So I told him to get me two of them. Now, looking at the seat again for the second time, because obviously the first time I wasn't really paying attention, I'm not going to be able to replace the second hose either. I don't think so, because one hose, I guess the way they got it routed, it kind of shows in the book, but the hose that I'm having replaced right now, the one that's blown out, that comes up from the floor, goes through the seat and does all this snake-like crap. And that goes to the side of the valve that lets you adjust the seat for up and down. You got a little handle there. It's like a valve. You know, you open it and close it to have the seat go up or down. Well, this hose goes to the side. The other hose that needs to be replaced goes underneath. Goes on the bottom side of that. So therefore, I think it has a different style fitting on it. It's still a flared fitting, I think, but it has a different style of a bend to the pipe where it goes under now. And I didn't really realize that. I just kind of thought, okay, they both go to the same side, because I wasn't really paying attention. I was more or less just trying to figure out where I could get the bad hose out, you know, and in a hurry to try to find a replacement. So yeah, but I got two hoses, even though I only really needed one, but you know what, I would rather have a spare anyway. But I got two hoses, each one was $50, and then there was like another 10 or something for shipping, so came up to like $123.44. So that's a good deal right there. That's saving me some money, because I'm not prepared to buy a $200 hose. Never mind, probably two of them, so that's $400. So it's bad enough that I have to buy hydraulic oil, and I'm not going to be able to do that until October, which is kind of when I'm probably going to need the tractor anyway, to work the gardens up. So yeah, I mean, if I need to get hydraulic oil, I can go, you know, to the repair shop here. They sell hydraulic oil, but they don't sell Case IH oil. And that's kind of what I wanted, was that High-Tran. But if I have to, I will have to buy, you know, that cheap crap from him. I mean, it's probably decent stuff, but you gotta do what you gotta do to get by. But the other hose that's going out, which isn't leaking yet, so it'll probably blow out in the middle of winter for all the hell I know. But if it blows out, it's just going to stay blown out until the spring, because I'm not working on anything in the wintertime. So that hose, I'm going to also probably sometime in the wintertime, well, might look over the, you know, next few hours or something, see if I can find a part number for that hose as well. And if not, well then I'll just go back to him, to this guy over here, and he can find that part number for me, and then I will just end up calling up another tractor salvage yard and seeing if they can find that other style of hose, because apparently it's two different styles, and I didn't really realize that. So, because I'm not a mechanic, so I learn shit as I go. But it helps that people give me part numbers to stuff, so then, you know, going into the future now, you know, if that hose blows out again, then I can just call up a salvage yard, say, hey, I need this, you know, and good enough. Whereas as of right now, you know, or come payday, I had to kind of run around, and kind of running around doing stuff and trying to figure stuff out. But it's just kind of a runaround until you find the right person that'll tell you what you need to know. And this guy helped me out quite a bit. And he's like, if you want to buy a brand new one, and apparently I can buy them from him. He'll order them from Case IH and have them shipped up to his place and stuff. But if I'm going to go through Case IH, I probably would just go straight through Case IH because I got to go that way anyway. So kind of to save a little bit of money that way too, because he might charge something for shipping to his place. So, but I don't know. So I guess we'll see what the hell happens. But the other hose is starting to go out. It's definitely got a crack in it, but it's not leaking, so it might be okay. But it's too late in the year now to really be dicking around with fucking shit. Yeah, I can still do stuff in October, but the problem with October is that's like land tax season. That's when I have to pay the other half of my land taxes. So I'm flat ass broke after that. So that takes about 99% of my fucking money. So, and considering the fact that who knows what the hell's going to happen with this Trump money, I don't know. So, because if the Trump money would happen, then I would buy the other hose. I would take that other hose off and be like, hey, I'm looking for this hose now. It's a different style. It's got a different bend in it, so I need the part number for this hose now. So then I could go to a truck or salvage yard and try to find another one. If not, then I have to buy a brand new one. But I mean, I guess if I can find a good used one. And I'm not really the type of guy that wants to get used stuff. I'd rather just go straight to buying brand new stuff. But when a tiny little hose like that costs you $200, it's kind of a ripoff. I mean, yeah, it's important to have it, but it's just kind of just BS. So I don't know, but I didn't get any hydraulic oil. I'm not going to probably get anything. I guess I don't really plan on until October now. But I guess if I need something quick, then I'll have to run to this guy and get a few gallons of hydraulic oil. I have no choice. I don't know what's in the 15 now. That could just have junk oil in it too. It's probably not even at Hytran. I mean, I don't know. The only way you would know is you'd have to flush the system and put all new oil in it. Well, I'm not buying 50 gallons worth of hydraulic oil because I imagine those tractors hold quite a bit of hydraulic oil. So if I have to, I'll just get some of that crap over there, and deal with it. But yeah, and the 400 broke down again, so I got to go back Tuesday because we can't do anything fucking Monday because it's Labor Day bullshit. So broke another belt. This is a different belt now. It looks like it must be for the alternator or generator or something. It's a much smaller belt than the one that we replaced a couple of years ago. The one that we replaced a couple of years ago, that was for the fan. And that's a much bigger belt. So this is just a tiny little thing. So must be for the alternator or the generator or whatever these tractors got. So, but I don't know. So gotta go back Tuesday, which is fine because I gotta go back and put money back in my bank account because I paid for those hoses on Saturday because he took a credit card. So when he'll actually take I don't know if he took the money out right then and there. I don't really know, but I don't really know how long that takes. But if not, then it'll probably be Tuesday for sure. But I took the money out. I took out $200 because I was thinking about just buying a brand new one. But he said just to go get a used one from a salvage yard that would probably be in pretty good shape because they're expensive to begin with. So I just did that, and gotta put that money back in the bank account so then I don't run short because I got other people that are going to be taking out their money too. So I don't want to be low on funds and then they overdraft me. So because I think daily the bank charges you something then for going over your like when your bank account is zero and you keep pulling money out of it, then you're pretty much overdrafting, I guess. And then the bank starts costing you money. They start charging you money every day, I think it is. So I try to avoid that because I don't want to overdraft, and I don't, screw it, it's a waste of money. Might as well just be a little extra careful and don't overdraft. But whatever. So yeah. So I'm not really sure what to do. I got the 1586 was to be unexpected. I didn't really. I mean, you never expect these breakdowns, but it's kind of what ruined it because, I mean, even though I got a much better deal on it, it's just the fact that, yeah. I forgot where I was going with that. Brain dead. My brain hurts. I gotta stop thinking so damn much, but when you're trying to figure out what the fuck to do with your money, you gotta, you got 6,000 people that are wanting money, and you got enough money just to pay 4 of them. It's that kind of a thing, It's like, what the fuck do you do? Everybody wants their damn money. So, but yeah, I don't know. See what the fuck happens, I guess. See if, if the 1586 wasn't breaking down on me, I would be investing money into the grain truck. Took that right in the gut. So, I don't know what to really do. I'm at a loss right now. Because the 1586 will always be priority at the farm. At my place, Big Red is priority. And then in the summertime, then the John Deere it's second priority, because I got to mow my grass. So, but here at my place, Big Red's priority, and then at the farm, the 1586 is priority because it's our backup tractor. And right now, both tractors are down. We have no tractors at all. But the farm all, that just broke a belt, so that'll be an easy thing to do. But for me, it's a little more serious than that because I had to rip my seat apart to even find the problem. So, not that I really had a use for the tractor, but I did. I was going to use it this fall for cultivating. I took everything out of the south garden. We're done with that piece of shit. We just got the north garden left to do, and there's only like one plant in that, and I think about another week or two and stuff should be about done in there. But they're talking it's supposed to get pretty freaking cold here the next few days. It's supposed to get almost to freezing point, which would be 32 Fahrenheit for here, and I don't know what that would be for you Canadian people, but freezing point is 32 degrees here in Fahrenheit. That's when stuff starts to freeze. So, whatever. I don't really care because you know what? I washed Big Red. I washed the John Deere. That's all shiny now. And I even washed the Pontiac, my grandma's car, because it was due for a cleaning. So, the only thing that hasn't gotten a wash yet is the 1586. And I don't think that's going to happen. I don't know. It just kind of depends on what kind of fall we have. If we have that piss poor fall, well, there's nothing to do about it. So, I don't know. But I'm just the way it'll be for now, I guess, until things start to settle down. What the hell is that? It's like a tiny little four-wheeler. It's like what a 5-year-old would drive. Kind of an interesting little thing. I think gets up and goes pretty good. Probably even better than Big Red. And Big Red's got more balls. It's bobbing and weaving. Oh, it's turning around. Yeah, so I don't know. So, the grain truck, that's not a priority. You know, that's just something I'm doing for fun and just to see if we can get it back up and running, because I would like to put it back in service, but for 2020, not going to happen. It's just not going to happen. It's nice to know that the engine's free. What the hell is he doing? He's just driving around doing donuts. But like, I'm not going to put any more money into the into the grain truck, because if it is the starter, if the starter is seized or something stupid like that, I don't know where the fuck you... I mean, you could find l-130s, but if you're going to find one that's, like, complete, and that's a good donor truck, well, then maybe. But, you know, they would have to test the starter and make sure the starter still engages. Because I have zero clue of where you could buy a brand new one. Because these starters are a little bit, like, different than, like, an ordinary starter of today. And the real difference I know is that these starters have a longer neck on them. They're longer. They're not short. The thickness, I think, is about the same for round thickness, but for lengthwise, they're much longer. Why International did that long neck starter design, I don't know. But I don't know if you could find any new starters, like today's type of starters, that would fit fine in there. But then it would have to be a 6-volt starter too, and do they even make such a thing, you know? So where would you find a 6-volt l-130 starter? You know. So, and again, you don't know if that's the problem. You know, it's just like, it's easier just to start cheap, which would be to replace the key and replace the push button. Actually, the push button would be the cheapest thing, because I found a couple of websites that sell a 6-volt push button start, a 6-volt key switch, and then I found a 6-volt toggle switch too, but apparently that doesn't matter, so I'm not going to bother buying that. But the push button was like $6. The key was like $20 or $30, and then the other part that I was thinking is, you know, that coil. I think it's called a coil. You guys can tell me. Maybe I'm stupid and don't know what I'm talking about, which is 99% correct, but it's just, you know, I don't know if that would cause a problem, because I think that's more related to the spark, to tell each spark plug when to fire. Or no, what that does, actually, I got that wrong too. Power goes through that guy, and then it goes to the cap, and then from the cap, you know, determines where it fires. That's where all the little wires pop out of it, you know, that little doohickey. So, but I don't really know what that little guy is supposed to do, if that's supposed to just kind of control how much power goes through or what. But I think it's called the coil, but I'm not 100% sure. You guys can tell me, but I'm thinking that's probably most likely shot as well. You know, sitting since '86 and probably not running right. I mean, who knows? Maybe that's the reason why it wasn't running right. You know, who knows? I don't know. But so I don't know. It's just kind of an interesting thing, I guess, to try to figure out what to do. Because I don't really want to have to buy a starter, but I mean, if I have to, I have to. But I would have to probably go the cheap route first and just replace the key switch and the push button start, and then that little coil, I guess if that's what it's called, replace that thing too. And then if that still doesn't solve your problem, then it's got to be the starter. I mean, maybe the starter is seized, but you think that the starter would click, you know, or try to do something. Or if it didn't do anything at all, you think it would just start to smoke because it can't turn, because there's just so much force there. You know, or it's just stuck. But apparently it didn't smoke, because if it was, he would have told me that. But I don't know. I'm not really sure what to do. I mean, besides spend $50 on just little things, you know, like a coil and key switch and push button start thing, and if that doesn't solve your problem, well, then you know it's something else. But then who knows? I cleaned the terminals, but they weren't really all that dirty to begin with, but I cleaned them anyway. Because I know apparently if you don't get enough power going through the cable, then your starter's not going to work. They're kind of picky on how much voltage they need to do their job correctly, and maybe for all I know, maybe it wasn't getting enough, and and it just didn't want to do anything. But I don't know. It wouldn't hurt to replace the key switch anyway. Plus, you'd get a spare, and I think this key that's in there now is the spare. So I don't know. It might just be better off replacing the key switch and I guess being done with it. So I don't know. You guys tell me, but yeah. So update on that, and an update on the 1586. I did find a hose. I got two of them coming, just in case I should decide to blow one later on. But I was thinking I could replace both of them, but apparently I think the second one's a different design, so it's a little bit different. So I might have to end up taking that hose off later on and running back down there again and see if we can find it. Because I imagine it's going to have a different part number. So I don't know. Unless they're the same now, I have no fucking clue. But I don't know. One thing at a time. Right now we got to get the 1586 back up and running and make that priority right now. The green truck, like I said, that's just for fun, and I guess to learn how to fucking get a truck engine running again. The farm all still stuck too, that little A. We haven't even tried tugging that around yet to see if we can get that fucking cylinder free, because we only got one cylinder stuck, and that's stopping everything. But I guess the green truck's not ready to die yet. I was thinking the farm out wouldn't be ready to die yet either, but maybe it wants to die. I don't know. It's like, no, don't bring me back to life. I'm too wore out. I don't know. The green truck's only got like 56,000 miles. Technically still a pretty young truck yet, and I imagine those are original miles. I doubt that tax's been rolled over yet. So being on this small of a farm, I'm sure, since it was probably new, I don't know if they bought that thing new or if they bought it used. But if they bought it used, it probably didn't have very many miles on it to begin with. So, and then being on our farm, it's not going to get driven daily. Maybe just a few hours, and that's it, So it didn't get a hell of a lot of use back in the day. I mean, it got used, but not like today. Trucks are running for 10 hours, 10, 11 hours, 12 hours a day, So, but I don't know. We'll have to, I guess, just take it one day at a time and I guess figure out what we can do from there. So, but if you guys have any ideas, any of you guys know where I can buy a starter or any of these parts for this truck, let me know. Definitely don't hold back, because God knows I'll never find no freaking websites. I've come across one and seemed helpful, but it's not telling me everything. It tells me the gap point, or the gap for the points, but I don't know. And then I think somebody also said too that under the cap that spreads the electricity out to go to all the spark plugs. I know somebody. I think that's where the point is at, or the points. Well, technically it's just got one point, but whatever. That's what they call that little part. But I know somebody said to clean the tip of it, because sometimes they can get a little bit of surface rust. And well, that's what I did. I found a little file kind of thing that I bought at the Dollar General. It's more or less meant for fingertips, but I used it on that. So, and I think it's clean enough. I think if it, if electricity wants to go through it, it will. But that's not related to the starter, I don't think. So, from what it looks like on this truck, there's not much going to the starter. It looks just like one wire. And those wires ain't going to anything else. So, I have no clue. But I'm done looking for today because it's too windy. I about blew away twice and whatever else. And so, yeah. Anyways, guys, I guess I'm going to take off. So I guess have a good day and stuff. So, yeah. Thanks for watching, guys. Take her easy.